G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of U-Boat on U-552. It's the 4th of November 1941 and we're heading back out on patrol. In the previous episode we went out and recovered the Enigma just off the northwest coast there of Scotland. But this episode we're just going back out on a general hunt. Gonna go out and try and pick ourselves up as much tonnage as possible. That's what we like to do around here. There's not really any more missions that we want to try and achieve out of Wilhelmshaven port. So maybe after this patrol or the next one we're going to be looking at trying to get a move to a different port. Ideally the port in France would be where we want to go, because if we end up in Norway too soon that's just where we're going to end up finishing the whole war. So we'll end up being there for too long, probably the next 3 or 4 years, which we don't want to do because that will get quite repetitive. So let's just see what happens after this outing and hopefully we'll get ourselves a move in the next episode or the one after that. So a quick look at the map here, and we're off out just off the west coast of Ireland. That's where we're going to be hunting today. So we're going to go around the north of the UK to get there. Don't want to be coming through the English Channel, it's just a bit too much risk, but we'll cut back to if we can pick something up on the way or when we get there. Okay, we got hydrophone contact just off the north of Scotland here, so we're going to start plotting a course. 7 to 15 ships, that is definitely something that's going to catch my attention. Hopefully there's some large ships in here for the taking and not too many destroyers, that way we don't have to play around too much, we can just focus on picking the good stuff apart. But this will probably give us our tonnage that we need even long before we get to the patrol sector, so we'll just see what's involved in it. And hopefully we can pick ourselves a couple of ships down here. Alright, we've got visual now on the convoy, so we've got a lead destroyer there, which we'll try not to deal with if we don't have to, but we've got ourselves a Liberty here, an American Liberty, so we will probably try and take care of that if we can. That looks like the first target. It's one of the closest one to us. We've got a oiler here flying a Spanish flag, so we probably shouldn't really deal with that. Another Liberty flying a British flag, so we'll probably go with something like that. And we will just do a quick check to see what their angle is. They're heading, so we'll just get ourselves a north to south line there and to the line that we've put through the boats, and they're doing 31 degrees. It's a nice easy working out. I do like it when they're doing somewhere between 0 and 180 rather than the other way, because it means I have to do backwards maths. It's not really my strong point, so 31's nice and easy, just straight away. But we're probably going to go for the Liberty. And there is a couple of destroyers. I wonder if I should try and take one of them out. Like a town class like this, we know is quite an easy target for one torpedo. So I think we should probably just try and take that down. And then we'll try and do a dual attack here. And we'll launch 2 torpedoes probably at one of those Liberties. And if we're successful with that, then obviously we're going to get 2 ships down with one attack, and then we'll just play the usual game of cat and mouse, run away and stalk the convoy again and come back for it. So we're just Liberty, 31 degrees. We're definitely going to need to do some speed checks for both ships. It's hard to assume that both ships are traveling at the same speed. I do still have the variable ship speed mod installed for this series. So let's just see what the Liberty's up to. And we'll stop the clock there. So 7 knots for the Liberty. That's a pretty standard speed for a convoy. But like I said, we do still have the variable speed mod, so it could be a little bit different. Just while we wait our time, we are going to set ourselves up with a few rings on the map here around the boat, because I want to launch 2 torpedoes or 2 separate runs of torpedoes. Definitely sending 1 for that town class destroyer and probably 2 for that Liberty. So I just do a few rings every 500 meters, and that way we can gauge when we need to fire the second round of torpedoes, which will be at the destroyer. I think that's the closest ship to us. So just every 500, 1k, 1500 and 2k's there. That should be more than enough. I don't think we'll need any more than that. And we better just go through the motions as well, make sure that we've got the solution 100% worked out. We might have to just double check some things after we've had a look at our destroyer. Would be a shame if we missed on one of the torpedo launchers just because we didn't double check something. So here's our town class doing 31. We just need a distance and a speed check. And if they're doing the same speed as the Liberty, then we're pretty much good to go. So let's get the clock started on this town class and we'll see what they're up to. And the clock will stop right there. So she's doing 6 knots and the Liberty was doing 7. So I think we should double check the Liberty. And if they're doing 7 still, then well, we just have to roll with it. But best to do a double check. We don't want to be missing anything here. And stopping the clock, 6 knots it is, so they are both doing the same speed, which is good news for us. It means we can rely on the info that we have and we can straight away flood up 2 torpedoes for this Liberty. And we'll get those launched away. So she's at just over 3,800 meters away from us right now. So we'll launch on that and then we will just have to do a quick look at our destroyer and work out the difference of meters. Okay, so it's just about 400 odd, roughly. Yeah, roughly a little bit 400. We've got a ring set up at 5. So when just before it reaches that, we'll pretty much be good to go. It shouldn't take very long at all. So let's just go for it right about now. Well, successful strikes on both. Doesn't look like we got the double hit on the Liberty, but the town class was hit and the Liberty doesn't look like she's doing too great. Damage is not as much as I would have liked. Second torpedo would have really sealed the deal for us there though. Can't help but imagine. But hopefully that fire there is going to just take the rest of that damage down, and hopefully we won't have to play around deck gunning this Liberty, but it looks like it's just the flooding now. So that should happen quite quickly. Worst case scenario, it's just going to sit here dead in the water, so we'll just hang out and we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. Well, looks like she's going down, fully sunk, and there we go, confirmation. We've achieved our 7,000, but we're not just out here to get that. We obviously want to go back with a lot more. That's just the beginning of what's hopefully going to be a successful trip, but that's one Liberty down, one destroyer dealt with as well. So let's go and see what the rest of the convoy have for us to offer. Yeah, we're in another good position here, so we are going to just do the same, put a couple more markers down just around about 501 kilometer. Probably don't need to go overboard with it this time because the targets are not really much more than a kilometer apart. But I'm going to go for this destroyer here again, or cruiser, whatever it is. It's a pretty big ship and it definitely needs to be dealt with. It's right in the way. This is going to definitely take us down if we try and have a surface engagement. Kind of looks like a county class to me. It's got those 3 large funnels. I'll just have a little look through the book, and it doesn't really look like there's much else that suits it. So we'll go with a county class. Where is it? Where's it gone? It's not one of those. It's got the 3 funnels on a big angle. Yes, I think it might be under the cruisers here, and it looks like one of those to me. Pretty sure. 2 guns at the back, 2 guns at the front, 2 big masts, and 3 slanted funnels. Can't really go wrong with that. Let's just do a quick distance and speed check on it, and we will also try and get a solution on another target here as well. And we'll stop the clock right there. 6 knots, perfect. So we will roll with 6 knots for her, and we will just assume here that this Liberty is also doing the same speed. I'm pretty confident that we could probably just guess or assume that they are doing the same. So we'll just do a quick distance check, and obviously we're going to be firing on the Liberty first for sure. And it actually doesn't look like there's much of a difference between the two. They're pretty close together, so I think it will be a case of just loading up tube 1 and 2 almost immediately and getting those fired off as well. I just double check what the distance here is. It's not very, don't look very far away at all. Yeah, so it's only a couple of 100 meters really. So we'll get tube 1 and 2 straight away, and hopefully 2 more successful strikes here. Just hope 2 torpedoes is enough to deal with a big cruiser like this. Okay, 2 good hits on the Liberty, and that was kind of the main target, but only 1 on this county class destroyer or cruiser. So that's not really ideal. I mean, this is a big boat. It's kind of more of a priority probably to get rid of this, because this is going to stop us from surfacing, but the damage is actually quite bad. So hopefully she'll go down, but maybe like usual, she might sit there dead in the water. And if she does that, then I'm happy enough, because there's a couple of loose ships at the front here that I want to surface up and try and get with the deck gun before anything else comes our way. But that Liberty is blazing up in the background over there, and this cruiser doesn't really seem to be going down too quickly. Hopefully we'll get the Liberty at least, and if we have to deal with that cruiser, then I'm more than happy to later. But yeah, this Liberty looks pretty screwed, so she's going to go down. She is sinking pretty fast actually, and the health bar for the cruiser is right down low. Flooding is happening slowly, so I think maybe she might sit here dead in the water, and we can always come back because we still need to go to the patrol sector anyway. And what we're chasing is kind of heading to the north. Yes, it just doesn't look like it's going to get any worse than that for her. So we'll just chuck a couple of marks down on the map here, and we'll come back and deal with that shortly enough. So there's a oiler over here, and there's a, I think it's an Empire something or other. So we're definitely going to go for the Empire because she's flying a flag which we can attack. That oiler, not too sure about whether or not I'm going to attack that yet. It's flying a Spanish flag. But I mean, if you're cruising around in a convoy full of British and American ships, then kind of fair game. I just don't know if it's going to be right. But that is worth quite a lot of tonnage for us, so maybe maybe we should. Wouldn't hurt too much. I'm sure diplomacy is not really a big issue with the Germans at this stage. Just attack whoever. So we'll jump up onto the deck gun right now. We'll deal with this gun, and while I'm doing that, I'll just have a little think about what I want to do with that Spanish ship, whether or not to attack. Well, there we go. That freighter's pretty much done for. I don't think it's going to get any worse than that. We didn't want to click on the freighter there. We want to take on the any prisoners that we can, preferably the captain. Yeah, so this boat over here, I think I'm going to attack it because it is rolling around with an enemy convoy, so I don't see why not. And we do want to see, yep, we can get a captain and an officer, so we'll take those, and we may as well just get on with it, really. Get down here and we'll start shooting on this oiler, and hopefully she's not going to blow up in our face. We don't want to get too close to her with the deck gun.
Koordinaten setzen.
Oh, we're good. We got some aftershocks there. Oh, it's a good time for an autosave, just as I start talking. So yeah, all good. This tanker is going to go down. I just hope we don't get in any trouble for that when we get back to the port. And hopefully they don't mind that we just sunk a neutral ship. Well, you never know though, it might not have been neutral, could have just been cruising around with the enemy. Falsely, who knows. So we are going to send off all these messages to BDU, and we are going to go turn around and clean up that enemy cruiser that's still sitting behind us, and then we are going to keep on heading out to our patrol sector. So we've managed to pretty much dismantle most of this convoy. There's still one ship floating around, which I think is probably a corvette or something like that. So I'm not going to go chasing that, and we'll save the torpedoes that we do have on board to hopefully find ourselves another juicy convoy somewhere a little bit closer to the patrol sector would be nice. So let's get on and do a U-turn, start heading down this way. That's where we want to be heading anyway, and we'll just close in, and should just be a couple of shots on the deck gun to finish up the destroyer or cruiser. I keep calling it a destroyer. There's still that lone ship and it's completely turned away now, so I don't know what it is. Could be a corvette, but I can't be certain, and I'm not chasing it. I'm hoping that we'll find bigger targets elsewhere, so make sure we're on the surface please. Slow down a bit, get up there, and we'll shoot this thing down with the deck gun. And that's a pretty decent start by all accounts, I'd say. Got ourselves, what was it, 2 Liberties, 2 destroyers, a tanker and an Empire, so that's not bad going at all. And we've only been at sea for what feels like 10 minutes in game. So a couple of shots here should be more than enough to finish this county class off. So there we go, she's going down, and we will watch her sink, and we are going to get on and hopefully get to our patrol sector, get some kilometers clocked up, and hopefully find ourselves something else that we can start attacking. Alright, we are back in the patrol sector, and we have picked up some hydrophone contact. We've got 2 contacts here, but one's a large convoy, so I think that's the one I'm going to try and catch up to and deal with, and the other is just a lone, probably a neutral ship or something. So best not to fluff around too much. We'll just try and deal with this larger convoy, and we are going to have to boost on up in front of it and try and get into a good attacking position like that. And hopefully we can. Well, we might need to surface up to do that, because there's no way that we can do it at the same speed as them, obviously. We have a new important message of transporting crucial technology on SS Perry James. Okay, and that's just down here, so that kind of changes our objective. It's a nice big convoy still, so I don't really feel too disappointed about giving up on the other one. So this is going to be our new priority. Meet up with this convoy and try and sink the target, and hopefully whatever else we can in amongst that convoy as well. So it'll be definitely good to rip apart 2 convoys today. Not often happens that we get an episode where it's been like that, so we'll take it. So let's just get ourselves into that position and see what we have to deal with here. Okay, we are in range, and the closest target to us, which is not that Liberty, it is this C3 cargo here. This is the target ship, the SS Perry, whatever it was. So we will absolutely try and sink that first of all. We won't be trying to do anything fancy here, like time 2 attacks at one time. We will just go for the target. That's the objective, and then after we've done that, then we can start trying to pick apart the rest of it. So they're on a heading, and they're doing my least favorite headings, which is out to the west, but that's alright. It's a round enough number that we don't have to strain the brain too much. So let's see what the speed is. Let's get that clock rolling. And we'll stop the clock there. 7 knots, and she's actually a little bit far away, so we'll just let them move forward a little bit. And at 7 knots, I'm not sure how accurate that was, because that looked like she was moving much slower than that. So we'll just do a double check here, just to be sure. Double check on the distance, double check on the speed, which has obviously moved a lot closer now. So we'll get the clock started again, and hopefully we'll have a correct reading this time. And stop there, and 8 knots. Okay, I thought it was going to be more like 6, but okay, we'll take it. And we'll launch up tubes 2 and 3, get those flooded and on their way out. Fire them right now. Well, 2 good hits there, and looks like she's recovered her health there, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that said like 95% damage gone, but apparently not. Oh, there we go, now 100% damage done. So it's just a case of flooding, and that looks like mission will be complete if she goes down, but she certainly isn't going to be moving, that's for sure. The SS Perry James Tice is done, so the important cargo has been dealt with. Now we've got a few torpedoes left, so we want to get up here, and we'll get ahead of the convoy in just a minute, come in for another attack. But hopefully she's going to go down. She is listing real hard to her starboard side there, but I don't know, we'll use some time compression just to make sure. So the flooding is going, but it looks like she's just going to sit here dead in the water. So we'll do our usual thing, we'll chuck down a few dots on the map, and we'll come back after we've used up all of our torpedoes and all that. And she's still drifting, and there's a destroyer or something heading over, so we'll just put some more marks down. She can't be drifting too much further. Just make sure, yeah, she's pretty much going to be right there. So we'll get into a new position and line ourselves up for another attack on something juicy. Alright, we're back with them, and looks like nighttime is coming again very fast here. It is that time of year, I suppose. It doesn't have much daylight. We are lining up here on a nice big Liberty. That's going to be another 7,000 or 8,000 tons for us, which is already quite a large tally that we've got so far, but this is definitely a welcome sight. We don't want to be dealing with small 3,000 ton freighters. And she is doing 8 knots. Very good. We'll roll with that. Distance looks pretty good too. Do need to double check their heading for sure. So we'll just pull a line through it. Yep, and we need a north-south line. Straight down to there and pull it across. So there we go. 96. So we have to take that away from 360, which leaves us 264. At least that's my attempt at some quick maths. So we will roll with that. And 2 torpedoes. Okay, interesting. We can launch tube 5 as well. We may as well use that because we don't often get the chance to, so we will. And hopefully tube 4 and 5 are going to get a hit here. Okay, just the one hit. I don't know if that was tube 4 or 5. I would probably assume number 4. Number 5 probably had to come out at a bit of a funny angle there and hasn't made the journey. Can't be sure at this stage, but unfortunately just the one hit and doesn't look like it's going to be anywhere near enough. So we'll use a bit of time and hope the fire's going to do a job. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, we're happy with that. We're very happy with that. She has gone down. I was not expecting that to happen. But there you go. It just goes to show that you can use a single torpedo on a Liberty cargo. But I do like to make sure. I like to put 2 torpedoes out just in case. So there's still a couple of nice big ships here, but we've only got a couple of torpedoes left. And we've still got a lot of kilometers to clock up in our patrol sector. So I'm going to head on back up towards the C3 and make sure that we get that finished off. And then we'll just keep going out on patrol and I'll let this convoy keep running away. And hopefully we're going to pick ourselves up maybe a couple of other ships in between. There's still plenty of time here with the kilometers that we need to clock up. There's plenty of opportunities. If we do get another large convoy, we can just come in and try and pick out the biggest target that we can. And I don't think there's a shortage of any ships at this stage, so we will just head on up here, board up onto the deck gun, and then we will continue cruising back to the patrol sector, get a few more kilometers done, and like we say, hopefully we're going to be picking up another ship or 2, or maybe another convoy. So we'll just tidy up this last bit of map. And you can jump on the deck gun because the boss man is asleep, and that'll also give you some points when you get back to the port for contributing towards the sinking of something. Doesn't get much points doing much else on this boat, so let's get that health bar up and start taking some shots. Alright, we've got a lone ship here. It looks to be on a heading of 75 degrees. It's still a little bit far away from us at the moment, but we will launch a couple of torpedoes at it just to see if we can put it down. Definitely want to be adding it to the tally. It's just a lone ship, no escorts. easy pickings, but it's not deck gun worthy, unfortunately, which isn't really a big problem. We've got a couple of torpedoes left in the tubes, and seeing as it's a lone ranger, we may as well pop them out, and we need to actually be rotating around to our right because the ship is on a west to east course, so that is nice and easy for me to work out. So she is another Liberty on a heading of 75. Distance, she could be a little bit out of range at the moment, but we can always let her close in. So she looks pretty good to go actually. So let's get a speed check on the way. Nine knots. Are you sure? I think we'll let that move in a little bit closer and just do a double check there. I suppose it's not unlikely because she is traveling alone, but we best double check that because 9 knots just seems a little bit too fast. Okay, well 9 knots it is. That's fine by me. Let's just double check our distance and make sure we're all good to go. And tube number 5 is being worked on right now, so we can't even flood that as it goes. So we should see how much time is left on that. He's pretty close to finished, so let's just do another bit of time compression. There we go, ready to rock and roll. Load it up. Tube number 5, it's our last torpedo. And fire away now. And another good strike. We're having some decent enough luck with the torpedoes today. We've only missed a couple. So I don't know if that's going to be enough though. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But hopefully that fire will grow and send that one down to the bottom. If not, it's going to be another clean-up job with the deck gun. I'm more than happy to do those things, but just makes it a lot easier when they go down. So let's just sit back and wait and see what's going to happen here. We'll let that time speed up a bit. Yeah, she's not looking good. Full damage now. Oh yeah, she is a goner. Well, that makes a nice easy life for us. So she is gone, and that's another what, 7,500, 8,000 tons down. I haven't been keeping a score, but I think we've had a pretty decent outing today. Almost every torpedo is pretty much guaranteed tonnage for us, so we are doing fairly well. It's just over 7,000 tons there down to the bottom. So we'll carry on in the patrol sector. No more torpedoes though, so we'll have to rely on the deck gun if we do find any more shipping. Certainly can't engage any convoys from here on. Alright, we got ourselves a Lone Ranger here, so let's just get in here and start taking it down. It's just a small NA-1 cruising on its own, flying a British flag. So let's get the deck gun out. Well, there we go, confirmation that she is going down. So let's have a look. Let's just watch her through the binos, or should we have a closer look? Can't really see the ship from here at all. Small NA1 going down, and actually the front ends come off with the deck gun. How unbelievable is that? I'd expect it from a torpedo, but we'll send those messages away and we will continue on, and hopefully we'll pick ourselves up another one or two like that. They're good for the numbers. Okay, we have one more lone range ship here, which is perfect for us, good for our condition. And I think we're in a decent enough spot that we can just run alongside this and use our deck gun here. Uh-oh, we got an aircraft detected. Hopefully it doesn't have a bomb on it. Let's have a quick look. This is going to interfere with us trying to sink this thing. I don't think they carry depth charges. Might be just a spotter plane or something. So we are going to have to just keep shooting, try and get rid of this thing, and then we are going to have to just get back underwater. And we've just got a few kilometers left to clock up before we finish our patrol, and then I think we'll call it a day. Well, there we go. She is going to go down now, so not bad again. A few more 1,000 tons for the taking there, so we're going to need to get moving before this aircraft comes back, and we'll get all these messages shot off and away, and we will dive down quickly. And we just have a few more kilometers that we still need to complete for the patrol, but by the time we actually leave the patrol sector, I think they will be well and truly done. And we could chase down that, but there's no point. We don't have anything to deal with it other than the deck gun, and there's not really any point engaging in that. Well, there we go, back at port. 55,000 tons sunk down to the bottom, and 11 ships all up. And that tanker was actually flying a British flag in the end, so maybe we were right to attack that, because that was flying a Spanish flag before. So that makes good for us. So we got all that tonnage there. We did the 2 jobs and we did everything. So not a bad outing at all. So that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully next time we'll be coming out of a different port, although that French port isn't available in the mission selection at the moment. The Norwegian one is. But I'll keep sticking at it, and hopefully we're going to be able to get out towards the Atlantic from the French ports. But I'll see you in the next episode.